The goatman continues his speech about how the old families don't care about the peasants and how their wars affects everyone under them, as if that had anything to do with monsters.
We are, 'cause we don't matter.
Mind you, it's not that someone wouldn't arrive at a nonsense conclusion like that, it's that this whole thing is randomly being talked about here just to get more exposition about the Belmont history, to tell Trevor what's going on and set up a bar fight in the most blunt and convenient way possible.
Everyone knows. The Belmonts dealt in black magic. The Belmonts dealt with monsters.
If these guys weren't here, if he had left earlier, or if he was already blackout drunk, he wouldn't know about Greshit. And the show would end here. And to show what I mean about bluntness, Trevor walks up to the bar to get more drinks, is asked to pay, and decides to search for his coins while looking the direction of the goatman, who sees his Belmont family crest.
What's that on your chest?
Now, you could try to excuse it by saying he's drunk, but he wasn't drunk last episode.
The Belmonts?
He became drunk between then and now, which is only been what, a second? Is he just that weak to alcohol?
That's a Belmont crest.
Of course, a bar fight ensues, and I don't feel like narrating it, so I'll skip to the end. Trevor beats the goatman, the guy that showed up with the news, and the barkeep. The cousin is not shown being defeated, but Trevor leaves the village alive, and the show needs to happen, so he probably won.
Oh shit.
But they ran out of budget. He makes his way to the outskirts of Greshit and announces the reason why he's coming here, out loud, to no one except the viewer.
Last stop between me and starvation. Next town's 40 bloody miles away.
While looking over the city, he spots a pack of demons running away. One of them has a baby in its mouth. I want you to keep that in mind for future reference. We momentarily cut to the situation inside the city, and it's a hellscape. Heads in pikes, entrails adorning the market, people screaming because their loved ones were killed in the middle of the night and they didn't notice until morning. Horrible. But you might be asking, how come there are still living people inside? How have the monsters not decimated the city just as easily as Tagovista? The answer will surprise you. The front entrance is blocked in order to stop people from coming in or getting out.
No one's getting in, and no one's getting out.
Or at least, I think that's the reason. Because the monsters can fly and climb walls. Obviously, it can't be for them.
Pretty sure they wouldn't do that just to deny me breakfast.
So, who the fuck put that there? Trevor needs to go through the sewer, and he does it talking to himself the entire way.
Never thought I'd be so hungry I'd climb a shit pipe in pursuit of breakfast.
Which is fine in this case. Most of what he said so far has been sarcastic commentary. It can be tied to him being alone most of the time, and it can create some nice contrast between him and other characters. Hopefully no one ruins that by making everyone else have the same personality. In the future, out of the sewer, he walks around the city, looking at all the death and destruction. When he reaches the market, he decides to question the folk. He finds out about a tribe of speakers that has settled in town. The woman telling him that suggests the presence of the speakers will assist in avoiding the demons.
Once we've done what needs to be done, the demons will leave us alone.
Why is she being so cryptic about something, as we will find out, they don't think is wrong? For the mystery, of course. A weapon seller in the market talks about the legend of the sleeping soldier. Apparently there is a warrior sleeping in the catacombs of Greshit that only wakes when he's needed. The guy believes in it, but asks Trevor to keep quiet about it, because the new bishop is not keen on old stories.
Dracula's monsters come at night, but the bishop's men come in the middle of the day. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, the monsters what?
Dracula's monsters come at night.
But they didn't seem bothered about the relatively bright sunny day when Trevor arrived. If that is such a problem, why hasn't Dracula clouded the skies in order to speed the process? It has been established that he can do it.
Never lied. Why should we be surprised? Do
we not know that?
What's the holdup? A blonde lady blames the speakers for making the sleeping soldier sick.
You know what I think? I think the speakers made the sleeping soldier ill.
And an unnecessarily ominous looking fella says everything would be alright if everyone blindly followed the bishop.
If the others will just do as he says when he tells us to do it, then all will be in order.
A bit you on your face there, but fine. Trevor walks somewhere else in the city and coincidentally stumbles on an old man and two priests, one of which pulls a staff of Jesus from his cloth of holding and threatens the man, who turns out to be a speaker. Trevor tries to fight the urge to interfere, but he ends up beating both of them using his whip. With special attention being given to how not priest-like they are.
Oh, now that's a funny thing for a priest to be carrying. That's a thief's knife.
With everything settled, the elder speaker thanks Trevor for his restraint on beating the clerics, and takes him to meet the rest. One of the younger ones gets mad at Trevor, since speakers are pacifists, but then he shows he's familiar with them, thanks to his family, and that shuts him up. He questions why they have been around for as long as they did, considering they are nomads and the populace doesn't seem to like them very much, and it turns out it's not only to help the people in need, but because one of theirs went into the mausoleum that leads to the catacombs in order to look for the soldier. They believe the story because, since magic is real, they think that sometimes the stories they find are actually premonitions.
The wisest and cleverest of our magicians know that time is not absolute, that it is possible to hear stories from the future.
I'll talk about it when the time comes. And with that, they ask what Trevor is going to do, and he's simply going to get some food and maybe watch the end of Greshit before moving away. They are shocked about his lack of shits to give, but he explains that the church wanted to fight monsters their own way, so they got rid of the Belmonts, branding them as heretics, and the people did nothing to stop them.
For evil bastards to win power, all ordinary people have to do is stand aside and keep quiet. There's always a choice.
Creating a parallel between him and Dracula, which would be interesting if not for the fact that they got nothing to show for his part. Saying instead of showing does not a character arc make. On Dracula's side, he is at least killing by the thousands. Trevor so far got in a fight that he didn't start and ended without killing anyone, and then decided to come here and question people around town knowing full well about the attack. Closest he got to showing was stopping an innocent from being hurt, but only because he's in a situation similar to his family's. And also is spitting in a mound of corpses. Yeah, that's not much, that's some weak sauce. Especially because he then tells the speakers to skip town, but they won't. Even more so because the speaker in the catacombs is the eldest grandchild, and the speakers want to at least bury their corpse.
It's the elder's grandchild down there. We can't even bury them.
It's a woman that you think is dead. Why are we playing the pronoun game? She's not non-binary and she's in the opening. It can't be a twist for the viewer, so is it supposed to be a twist for him? Why? For the relationship they're going to have? Why do we like that? It doesn't make sense in universe, just fucking say it. Trevor, obviously, decides to help, as long as they finally leave the city, and the elder agrees.
Stay right here.
Belmont, it is not dying that frightens us. It's living without ever having done our best.
You know what? I like this line. Says a lot about the speakers. Says a lot about his arc.
I don't care.
This is the worst!